The first time I meet new clients, I always tell them, I'm not interested in forcing you to do anything you don't want to do. Dietary habits, exercise habits. If you don't want to actually do something, I'm not going to try and force you to do it. Not because the whole drill sergeant mentality is not really my personality, but because I recognize that forcing ourselves to do something that we really don't want to do is very counterproductive. The biggest reason for this is because when we try and force something to happen, what we're doing is we're trying to work against some sort of resistance. It's like trying to force ourselves into a split when we're too tight in the muscles. What we're doing is we're working against a form of resistance that causes stress. All it does is it causes us to become exhausted, burned out, frustrated, and we don't get very far from it. Whatever results that you do gain from it are going to be relatively minor and probably temporary, because eventually the stress builds up so much and you break and you quit and you burn out, you get injured. Something backwards causes a backwards backlash. Here's the way I like to think about it. You don't have to force your body to do anything if you want to get in better shape. Instead, recognize that everything you want your body to do in order to get in better shape, it's already happening. You don't need to make anything happen. Trying to make your body change is like trying to make a river flow. You can stand by the river and just kind of push the water and say, go river, go, but it's exhausting and relatively pointless. And you can try and force it to go against the river and it's still not going to get you very far. Everything you want to make happen is already happening. You don't have to turn a switch on or anything. You're burning fat right now. You're building muscle right now. You are conditioning your body right now. You don't have to do a thing to make these things happen. Of course, you may not be getting the results you want because other processes are happening that counteract it. You're storing fat every day. You're breaking down muscle. Your body may be losing conditioning at the same time. These are things you don't have to make happen. Your body is set to do these things on autopilot. So like that river, you're flowing. Your body's going in a direction somewhere. It is changing and morphing every second of every day. When we make a change happen, losing weight, building muscle, whatever it is, we're not making anything happen. We're directing the direction, the flow, the direction of the flow of the natural change. We're taking that river and saying, okay, we're just going to subtly direct it a little bit. The next week, direct it a little more and a little more, so that way we can get the river to go in the direction we want it to go. If we try and just dam it up and say, don't do this anymore, that's when we get all that force against the dam and it breaches over and all sorts of havoc breaks loose. So the first lesson is, you don't have to force anything to happen. The second lesson is, recognize any sort of resistance that is in your life or your body that is making it harder for you to go in the direction that you want to go into. Physical resistance, like are you stiff, sore, injured, achy? You take care of these things. What about internal resistance, emotional resistance? How do you feel about making the changes that you want to have? How do you feel about the habits that you want to adopt? How do you feel about going to the gym? For some people, going to the gym is easy and something that is almost hard not to go to the gym because they don't have any resistance inside from going to the gym. But other people, it's like pulling teeth trying to get to the gym. They're like, oh, people are looking at me, I feel self-conscious, it doesn't fit my schedule very well. Whatever the resistance is, you have that resistance there. Don't try and work against the resistance. Either remove the resistance, if you can, or find a way around it and say, well, I don't need to go to the gym, I can work out in the gym in my office complex, or I can go for a walk during lunch period and do push-ups in my apartment, or whatever the case may be. But don't force yourself to keep battling that resistance. If you are experiencing a level of resistance against something, don't fight it. Either work around it, remove that resistance, whatever it may be, or do what I do. Just pick your battles. Some things are just not going to happen right away. Resistance comes and goes. It ebbs and flows. So if you're having a hard time against certain types of resistance in your life, don't worry too much about it right now. You don't have to force your body or your mind to do anything at once. Pick your battles, remove the resistance where you can, and let it flow in the direction it's going in, and just subtly change the direction of the flow that's already happening. Just some thoughts on physical change. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know your thoughts as well. Be fit, live free.